Shalom. I want to start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh Bashem, Yahushua Bashem, Kakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of the Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and salutations to the hopefully elect tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And I just want to do a quick response to our elder apostle Tahar's video, the Great Tribulation, and I'm doing it, for the edification of the sincere. It's not really in response to the guy that the apostle was doing his response to, because that guy, he's a bug out in my opinion. We've dealt with him before on a particular topic, and he just can't seem to receive the truth of the particular breakdown. This guy is clearly self-willed, and honestly, don't think this guy is worthy of casting pearls, so to speak. Because one minute he'll say that we're wrong on a particular breakdown, but here it is, he's asking the apostles, if they can break down something to him. So, I don't think he deserved that satisfaction, but nevertheless, since the topic is out there, and I was able to watch most of this video, I want to do a quick response because the Christian church been lying for centuries, with a lot of their dogma, their Christian dogma, one of it being that there's going to be a pre-rapture, it's like a pre-tribulation rapture, and that's that's nowhere found in the scriptures at all. And the scriptures say in Acts the 14th chapter, when Paul was exhorting the disciples, he was exhorting them that they must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom. Now, ask yourself, has there ever been any men of the Lord, any of the great men that we read about in the scriptures, has there been any of them that have not suffered some type of adversity or some type of trouble before they received their inheritance or their victory? When Abraham, before he got to the promised land, what did he have to endure? He had to deal with, not only that journey that he had to take from the land of Ur. He watched his family die off, because they were heavily into idolatry. And then, when he came down into the land, he ended up getting into it, with Hamitic kings. He had to go to war. He had to deal with King Abimelech, possibly trying to, take his life. They were trying to, get his woman, Sarah. So he even had to endure, different forms of adversity before he was able to, get promised that blessing that of that seed. Same with you had Jacob. He had to go through his form of adversity. He had to be on a run from his wicked, evil brother Esau, because Esau was trying to slay him after he supplanted him for that birthright. And different other instances, where he had to endure. And many other men, before King David became king, he had to deal with the unjust persecution from King Saul. He had to go through battle, many wars. So there's always going to be a form of adversity or trial before the Lord grants you worthy of that reward. Whether the Lord bless you with inheritance, or riches or whatever. You gotta go through it first. The Lord gotta try you. So this tribulation is gonna be a period where we're being tried. He has to find if you're going to be worthy of that reward. So that's the purpose of why the Lord's going to put us through that, man. Real quick, let's go Let's go to Zechariah, because I touched on this not too long ago, how the Lord's going to actually put us in the fire. It's Zechariah 13, and I'm going to start at 8. It says, "And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, two thirds therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein." Because it's going to be more that's going to perish than those that's going to be delivered. 2/3 of our people, they're going to be wiped out because they despise the law and the commandments of the Heavenly Father. They despise the prophets. All right. So they're not going to make it through the tribulation period. You can see a lot of them are choosing the side of Satan now. A lot of them, opting out and taking that damn potion, which you already know they're going to take the charagma too. So they're going to be destroyed. But you're going to have those, a remnant, which is the elect. They're going to be tried. They're going to be put to the test as well. But they're going to remain steadfast and faithful. And the Lord's going to preserve those men and women. It says, "And I will bring the third part through the fire," meaning he's going to put you in the fire only, just to purify you, put you through adversity. And then, once you show that you have faith, you will be tested and proved worthy. It says, "And will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my power." All right. So that's what's going to happen. And let me real quick. Let me go to the Apocrypha. Let's go to Sirach, the 33rd chapter. Yeah, Sirach 33:1, it says, "There shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord, but in temptation, even again, he will deliver him." So even in our trial, the Lord's going to deliver us. Okay? Because he said, Yahushua said it in Revelation 3:10, "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience," right? "I will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which is going to try all them that dwell on earth." So he's going to guard us. He's going to, make sure, you got an angel keeping charge over us during this period, to guide us, in the right direction. That's why he made that prayer, for his disciples. "I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but they that thou hast given me, for they are thine, and thine are mine." And he also said, "I pray that thou shouldest not take them out of the world, but that thou shouldest keep them from the evil one." Because we know that, Satan is the ultimate tempter. And he's coming full force through the international bankers, through these governments. That's, forcing these draconian measures and restrictions, these unrighteous decrees, putting that pressure to everybody. And a lot of people are folding under pressure. So they're choosing to comply and bow down to Satan. All right. But the elect, no matter what type of adversity is put upon them, they're still going to, persevere. They're still going to endure. And it's not easy at all. It's going to be, it's going to be some turbulence, It's going to be friction. All right. So anyway, let's go to matter of fact, let's go to Revelation 3:10, because I want to look up that word try. Because we must be tried. How is the Lord going to reward us if we're not found worthy? How are you going to not experience and suffer through anything before, getting, all this comfort getting rewarded, getting a blessing. You don't get a prize until you actually work for that prize. You got to go through it first, man. This Revelation 3:10, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Let's look up that word try. And the word is pyrazo. And it says to try whether a thing can be done, to attempt, endeavor, to try, make trial of, test, for the purpose of ascertaining his quality, or what he thinks, or how he will behave himself. You either gonna be gold, silver, or you might be chaff. Okay, you might be that wood or that hay, and it's going to be known in due time, man, based on your decision making when things get real serious. It says, in a good sense, in a bad sense, to test one maliciously, craftily, to put to the proof his feelings or judgments, to try or test one's faith. All right, ain't gonna be no damn pre-tribulation rapture, because you don't even know if your faith is real or not. All right, the Lord gotta know if you full of shit or not. It says virtue, character, by enticement to sin. Because wisdom's gonna try you, man, in every crooked place. All right, it says to solicit, to sin, to tempt. And it was that James, the first chapter. You're when you're tempted, you're not tempted of the Most High, because he cannot be tempted with evil. Neither can neither he tempt of any man. But a man is led away when he's enticed. He's enticed by his lust, and when that lust is conceived, it bringeth forth sin, which brings forth death. So that's why another thing, you're gonna be tried because you're in the flesh. That's what's gonna make it very hard, because your flesh always wants to cleave to comfortability. All right. It says, after the OT usage of the Most High to inflict evils upon one in order to prove his character and the steadfastness of his faith, i.e. like Job, i.e. like King David. You see? And many various other men, Daniel, the three holy children. It says, men are said to tempt the Most High power by exhibitions of distrust, as though they wished to try whether he is not justly distrusted, by impious or wicked conduct to test the Most High's justice and patience, and to challenge him as if it were proof of his perfections. Okay? So we must all be tested. We all got to be put to the test. So that means we all got to go through the tribulation. So the Lord's going to come post-tribulation and receive all of his elect from the four corners of the earth, because they're going to be the ones found faithful. Let's prove that the Lord's coming after the tribulation. Let's go to Mark 13 and 24. And it says, but in those days after that tribulation, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars of heaven shall fall, and the powers that are in heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with great power and glory, and he shall send his angels, and shall gather together his elect from the four winds. And they're going to be coming out of every tongue, kindred, nation, because Israel is scattered amongst all nations, speaking different languages. So the elect are all over. It says from the uttermost part of the earth, here from Babylon the Great, to the uttermost part of heaven. Okay? And now let's go to Revelation 7. That's why it says in 2nd Ezra, the 7th chapter, we're gonna suffer straight things and hope for the wide. You ain't gonna be able to enter into that wide place if you haven't, suffered through the straight and narrow. We got to go through the straight and narrow first. Okay, this is Revelation 7 and verse 9. It says, "In this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes, and palms in their hands, and cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our power which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb." So this is after the tribulation, but notice it says up in that heading right there, a multitude from the tribulation. So they're going to be in that tribulation, but this is when the Lord's going to actually bring them out and then reward them. It says, "And cry with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our power, which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb. And all the angels stood round about the throne and about the elders and the four beasts, and fell before the throne on their faces and worshiped the Most High Power, saying, Amen, blessing and glory and wisdom and thanksgiving and honor and power and might be unto the Most High Power forever and ever. Amen. And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, What are these which are arrayed in white robes?" He saw all that great multitude of brothers and sisters, and they didn't even look like your typical Israelite. But yet, they made it out because their spirit bear witness with the spirit that they're the children of the Most High, and they followed the prophets. It says, "And whence came they? And he said unto them, Sir, thou knowest. And he said to me, These are they which came out of great tribulation." You see that? "And have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb." So they became pure. They got, washed, by the blood. They got washed by the water of the word, and they received mercy. Okay. So that's proof in itself that we're gonna have to go through the tribulation. All right. We will not be able to receive the inheritance and a blessing unless we get tested and tried and go through the adversity first. Okay? We're going to suffer adversity before we get comfort. All right, sorrow before joy. Okay? It's going to be uncomfortability before pleasure. We're going to get rest and tranquility when we're in the kingdom. So anyway, I hope this was edifying. And I could have, because I did mention 2nd Ezra 7th chapter. That's a real good chapter to go into, especially dealing with this topic. Because it tells you that you're going to have to go through that narrow path. It talks about that wide city that sit upon a hill. It's a paradise, but you're going to have to go through the dangers first, which on both sides is like deep water, and on the other side is a fire. So it's going to be very difficult. So that's pretty much the response. I hope this was edifying. I'm going to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Shai. And to the next lesson, Shalom.